a major policy signal to the private sector of China. On February the 17th, Chinese President Xi Jinping chaired a key meeting with China's leading private entrepreneurs. The long list of attendees includes founders and presidents of BYD, Huawei, Alibaba, DeepSeek, Tencent, and many, many others. Now, President Xi said the private sector will remain a cornerstone of China's economic growth and innovation and pledged unwavering support for the private sector. Will this meeting be a shot in the arm to the Chinese economy? And how will China's private enterprises navigate the current challenges? To discuss all these issues and questions, we're joined in Shenzhen by Xiao Geng, Associate Dean of School of Public Policy at Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen. And in Beijing, we have Zhou Chunsheng, Professor of Finance, Associate Dean at Hong Kong Graduate School of Business. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Professor Xiao, let me go to you first. It's been a while since the Chinese president chaired a meeting like this one. What is the major policy signal he's trying to send here?
Well, I think this is the strongest and the clearest signal that the Chinese policy makers realize that China can rely on private enterprises. They are very resilient. And also, the policymaker recognize there are tremendous challenges ahead, and they're trying to assure the private companies to have confidence. The government and the enterprise will work together to sort out all the challenges. So this is really very much, decisive and also a profound policy turning point.
I mean, specifically, what did you pick up from President Xi's meeting and his talk with the private entrepreneurs in China? It was a very long speech and was widely covered by major Chinese news outlets.
Well, I think the key is that the president not just pointed out all the challenges, specifically about the external environment and also some of the macro problems, but also emphasized that the Chinese private sectors already made tremendous contributions. So this is like the situation today is much complicated than a few years ago. They are both opportunities, but also very serious challenges, and you can see that the leaders understand this very much.
Yeah, Professor Zhou, let me go to you, if I may. Let's break it all down. A large chunk of the business leaders attending the key conference comes from China's tech companies, including Huawei, Xiaomi, Issue Robotics, DeepSeek, and EV maker BYD. What do you make of the makeup of the private sector, representing the entrepreneurs, representing the private sector?
Okay, President Xi called on private enterprises to unwavering follow the path of high-quality development, strengthen independent innovation, and strive to make more contributions to promoting scientific and technological innovation, cultivating new high-quality productive forces, and building modern industries. Those enterprises that have competitive advantages in high-tech, digital economy, AI, and green development will have particularly bright development opportunities. As we all see that in recent couple of years, China, including Chinese private enterprises, have made significant progress in many modern industries, such as like electric automobiles, AI, digital economy, and green energy, and whatsoever. So private enterprises are a very important force for driving China's economy to move forward, in driving China's economy in a in the path of high quality development. That's the reason, President Xi called for this conference.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the challenges that these private Chinese enterprises have been navigating, arguably this conference, this meeting, couldn't have been more timely. Professor Xiaogeng, let me turn to you, if I may. Also attending the meeting was some, companies representing China's traditional sector. If you think about New Hope, that is China's largest food and agri-produce supplier. Jack Ma, of course, founder of Alibaba. Pony Ma, Ma Huateng, founder and president of Tencent. What do you make of this makeup again?
Well, this is very important. President Xi actually trying to encourage private companies from all sectors, including some of the sectors suffered from previous policy volatility and external shocks. And this means that the policy towards private enterprises is going to be very consistent and very stable. So this is actually very unusual in the sense that it signals that the government already recognized that China's future lies in these private sectors, both in the high-tech sector, but also in the ordinary private companies, because they actually are the main drivers for employment, for profits, and for wealth and social stability. So and given the current macro conditions, this is critically important to let the private sector people have confidence.
Yeah, you talk about current challenges. I mean, many private companies have been complaining about a lack of access to financing, which usually favors SOEs, and also when it comes to the market environment, that is, of course, been improving over the years and decades, but that leaves room for future improvement. So looking ahead, what specific policies and legal reforms do you think can be made to better support private companies?
Well, I think the government has decided that basically would like to treat private company equally with other, including state-owned companies. And also in finance, I think the government recognized that, the private sector, particularly in this macro conditions, usually private sectors are doing well when the macro conditions are much loose, much comfortable. And I think separately, the central government already changed the macro policy. So I think all the conditions are ready to come out with more sophisticated policies towards the private sector. And I would like to add that the best companies are usually the most competitive companies are in the private sector, but some of the private companies are also, not so good, and they sometimes disrupt the good ecosystems. So you notice that the president also emphasized that companies should follow the law and should be patriotic. So I think this better legal systems would help good companies to grow faster. And also, I think, the president emphasized the local government support. And here, I think it's very important that the local government needs to have the capacity, financial capacity. And that is also related to the change in the macro policy. And I think the fiscal and the monetary policy is going to help local government to have the capacity to support the private sector. And I think Hangzhou's 6 small dragons, shows that because Hangzhou government is pretty well in terms of the physical support.
Yeah, I know that it's becoming a trend for companies from other provinces to go to Hangzhou, to go to Zhejiang for a study tour. it's not surprising that given the number of enterprises that is represented at this conference. Professor Zhou, let me ask you about this. Do you think President Xi's meeting with these private sector leaders will be a shot in the arm to the Chinese economy going forward?
Of course, we all know that currently China's economy and private economy all face some challenges and difficulties. Of course, these challenges and difficulties is President Xi said in the conference are short-term and can be overcome. So, the Central Committee of the Communist Party called this meeting, try to boost the confidence of entrepreneurs, especially, the entrepreneurs of private enterprises, to make determination to distinguish themselves and to well develop. It is the right time, for China's economy to change its development mode, to change the drivers, of economic development. There are difficulties and there are also bright future and great development opportunities, and in all sectors, especially in the new high quality productive forces, such as high tech companies and many other new sectors. I strongly believe in the future, private enterprises can play a very critical role in promoting the quality of China's economy and to support the sustainable growth of China's economy.
Thanks for that sharing. Professor Xiao, how well positioned do you think Chinese companies, especially tech companies, are when it comes to bracing for upcoming U.S. restrictions, tech wars, or trade wars, whatever it may?
Well, I think the challenge is very serious. But even though Chinese companies are very, very competitive, but I think the government is trying to help them really to diversify, into the rest of the world other than the U.S. market. And I think this is really the direction because, China has the advantage of large scale and also very competitive. And so it's important to really use Hong Kong and use other market like ASEAN and the Middle East and other market to provide more, opportunities for Chinese private companies.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for sharing. We learned a lot. And